Days before Jussie Smollett told police he was the victim of a vicious racist and homophobic attack, the Empire star sent a cautious text to a friend, Cook County prosecutors say. "Might need your help on the low," he messaged Abimbola Abel Osundero, Smollett's co-worker and alleged sometime ecstasy dealer. "You around to meet up and talk face-to-face?" The text set in motion an elaborate hoax that had Chicago police working around the clock for 3 weeks, first to investigate an alleged hate crime, then to dismantle Smollett's phony story, authorities said Thursday, as Smollett stood in court to face a felony charge of filing a false report. The incident sparked breathless international media coverage and intense social media speculation, accelerated by the political implications of an openly gay black man's alleged assault by attackers who put a noose around his neck. It also infuriated Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, who spoke in anger at a news conference, saying Smollett's hoax dragged Chicago's reputation through the mud. Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career, said Johnson, who is black. "I'm left hanging my head and asking why? Why would anyone, especially an African-American man, use the symbolism of a noose to make false accusations?" Johnson said Smollett first attempted to gain attention by sending a fictitious threatening letter to himself at the Empire production studios that used racial, homophobic and political language. When that didn't work, Johnson said, Smollett paid $3,500 to two burly brothers to carry out the staged attack in downtown Chicago, promising them another $500 later. He was dissatisfied with his salary on the television show, the superintendent told a throng of reporters and photographers from around the country at police headquarters. When detectives figured out the real motive behind the attack, Johnson said, "Quite frankly, it pissed everybody off. Hours L. A tear, Smollett endured the wrath of another black authority figure, Judge John Fitzgerald Like Jr., who said he couldn't in good conscience release the 36-year-old actor from custody on his own recognizance. Instead he set bond at $100,000. "The most vile and despicable part of it, if it's true, is the noose," said Like, voicing a similar theme to Johnson's. "That symbol conjures up such evil in this country's history." Shortly before 4 p.m., after a friend from California posted the necessary $10,000, a stone-faced Smollett left Cook County Jail amid a crush of reporters screaming questions. He had surrendered to authorities about 5 a.m. Thursday. He then headed for the Empire Studios on the West Side, where cast members and crew are trying to wrap up shooting for the final episodes of Season 5. Thursday night, a statement from Smollett's legal team called the allegations part of an organized law enforcement spectacle that has no place in the American legal system. The presumption of innocence, a bedrock in the search for justice, was trampled upon at the expense of Mr. Smollett and notably, on the eve of a mayoral election, the statement said. Mr. Smollett is a young man of impeccable character and integrity who fiercely and solemnly maintains his innocence and feels betrayed by a system that apparently wants to skip due process and proceed directly to sentencing. In court, prosecutors said Smollett came up with the idea of the phony attack after being disappointed in the studio's response to the threatening letter he had received days earlier, a letter Chicago police said was also faked. The letter threatened Smollett by name and had made a reference to President Donald Trump's Make America Great Again slogan written on the envelope. It also contained a powdery substance later found to be crushed pain reliever, Assistant State's Attorney Risa Lanier said in court. The FBI and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service continue to investigate the letter. But it is unclear whether federal charges could be filed against Smollett. Cook County prosecutors said Smollett recruited Abel Osundero, who works as a stand-in for Smollett's love interest on Empire, to fake the attack. After Smollett texted Osundero that he might need your help on the low, the two met at Cinespace Studios on January 25, prosecutors said. As he drove Osundero to his apartment in the Lakeview neighborhood, Smollett laid out his plan, they alleged. Outside the residence, they summoned Osundero's brother, Olabanjola Osundero, to the car, and both brothers agreed to take part in the plot, prosecutors said. Smollett further detailed that he wanted Abel to attack him, but not hurt him too badly and give him a chance to appear to fight back, Lanier said. In addition, they were to yell racial and homophobic slurs, put a rope around his neck and shout, "This is MAGA country," according to the prosecutor. Smollett gave them a $100 bill to buy rope, ski masks, gloves, and red baseball caps that would look like the Make America Great Again hat sported by Trump, Lanier said. 2 days later, she said, Smollett gave Abel a backdated personal check for $3,500. Chicago Police Department actor Jussie Smollett paid two brothers he knew $3,500 to fake the attack in the 300 block of East North Water Street around 2 a.m. January 29, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said. Actor Jussie Smollett paid two brothers he knew $3,500 to fake the attack in the 300 block of East North Water Street around 2 a.m. January 29, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said. Chicago Police Department, early on January 29, the brothers staged the attack just as Smollett instructed but mistakenly just outside the view of a surveillance camera that the actor had hoped would capture the assault, Lanier said. After his manager called police to report the incident a short time later, Smollett met officers at his Streeterville apartment, a rope still draped around his neck, the prosecutor said. Smollett told police to turn off their body-worn cameras, then said he was assaulted by two masked men, at least one of whom appeared to be white. He also told them that 3 days earlier an unidentified caller had made a threatening phone call to him, the prosecutor revealed. Chicago police launched a hate crime investigation, but as it progressed, some police sources privately expressed doubts after finding little, if any, corroborating evidence or video of a crime. Police did release an image of two men seen in the area of Smollett's building around the same time, but it was blurry and dark. Smollett, who is also a singer and songwriter, said his music manager was on the phone with him at the time and would support his story, but the actor refused to turn over his full phone records. After skepticism surfaced, Smollett stuck to his story in a February 14 interview with Good Morning America, saying people would not have second-guessed him if he said his attackers were Muslim, Latino, or Black. Eventually, police pieced together much of their evidence by reviewing footage from about 55 police and private surveillance cameras showing the brothers' movements before and after the staged attack. Detectives learned their identity after spotting the two on video taking a rideshare car, police said. At the end of Superintendent Johnson's news conference, a reporter asked what justice would mean in this case. Absolute justice would be an apology to the city he smeared, Johnson said. Now our city has problems, we know that. But to put the national spotlight on Chicago for something that is both egregious and untrue is simply shameful. Johnson raised concerns that Smollett's alleged actions could cause a public backlash for legitimate victims of hate crime. The Chicago Police Department will continue to investigate all reports of these type of incidents with the same amount of vigor as we did with this one, he said. My concern is that hate crimes will now be publicly met with a level of skepticism that previously didn't happen. M. Crapo at ChicagoTribune.com, J. Gorner at ChicagoTribune.com, J. Meisner at ChicagoTribune.com, Twitter at Crapo, Twitter at Jeremy Gorner, Twitter at JMetter22B.